Welcome back to a new season of the Cultivator podcast. I'm your host, Daybar. To start a new season, I'm really excited to have CJ here with me, my co-host, and we're going to do a quick check-in with her on how last season went and what we have to look forward to this season on the farm. Welcome, CJ.
Thanks, Day. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so CJ, let's start with a check-in on how last season went. I'm really curious. At New Hall Fields Community Farm, we held several events. We had farm shares, youth group programming, hosted organizations, and like tons of other things. Was there any programming that happened all the way back in 2023 that looked a little different last year in 2024?
Programming.
Yeah. Or events.
Yeah. Well, we've been trying to get more people on the farm and but keep it manageable, right? So we did big news this year, I thought, was 2 additional staff members.
Ooh.
So we hired Keely and Lindsay, both who were previously volunteers at the farm. So Lindsay as our program coordinator. So that helped she's sort of taking over the Northeast ARC program. And so she coordinates the groups on Northeast ARC coming and it creates their programming and works with them and helps lead them in farm tasks and like hands-on educational tasks and stuff like that. So that was a big change. Keely is our farm assistant. So that helped. They, helped me with hosting community service days on the farm. Lindsay had led field trips. And so that having those 2 people really, just allowed us to sort of expand what we do on the farm and offer more dates to more people to get them out there and digging in the dirt. Definitely, it looks like they are both going to be coming back for the 2025 season, which is very exciting. So we're hoping to, be able to expand, having that support is really important from them. And, we still did a couple events. We did a luncheon where Michelle from Uncommon Feast, she provided food, and we had some like educational talking and farm tours, and that was out in the field in July. We still did fire cider, which was awesome, which I think this year was the highest attended that it ever was, and it was super fun. And I have an amazing picture of you with your fire cider, and I hope it's okay. I keep using it in like posters and stuff. So the fire cider was really fun this year as well.
Honestly, yes, 100%. Fire cider was insane this year. I've never seen it so busy. I felt like the farm was so activated. You could see signage from the street leading people back. I literally saw some girl drive by. Well, she rode by on her bike, saw the sign, and then just came and hung out. She paid the donation fee and then just came, hung out, made a fire cider. It was not part of her plan day.
She was saying that she rode her bike from somewhere that was kind of far away. And she just happened upon it. And then she came in initially and she was like, I'm not going to stay. Like, I still have a ways to ride and I don't want to carry something. And then she came back and walked around the herb garden and like talked to some people. And she was like, I'm going to do it. And she stayed the whole time. She's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome to watch it happen in real time because that's what the farm does to you. It's really like contagious. Like it's hard to just show up one time. You have to come back. You want to get involved. I love what you mentioned about those new staff members we hired last season because you're right. They weren't here with us in 2023, but they were for 2024, and it made a huge difference.
Yeah.
Something I get asked all the time being a volunteer is like, why can't you guys do more of this or more of that? And it's like, it's staffing. Like, there's only so many people and, we can only do so much. So with proper funding, we're able to expand that. And the humans, the people on the farm really are able to help us do that. So that's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. They're both amazing and did an awesome job. And yeah, it really does help because, farming is a lot of work, as everyone who comes to the farm realizes. And you have to, like the mission of the farm is like the farming comes first and you have to grow the food and donate it or get it to the hunger relief organizations or, get it to the customers so you can do all of these other things.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we are usually trying to manage the actual farming with all the other fun stuff.
And I tell people now, because first it used to like bug me, but now I tell people if they ask me like, why don't you do more? I'm just like, you know what? Like we want to, but we need more support. And if you want to see more cool stuff happen on the farm, this is how you can see it happen. And I direct them to our donation link.
That's a wonderful thing.
Because it's important. It's important. If you want to see more happen in your community in any aspect, you've got to invest in your community. And we're definitely an investment that I'm seeing more people invest in, which is kind of cool. Okay, so now that the farm is preparing to head into, I think it's our 6th season. Last year was the year 5 we celebrated.
Yes.
So this is year 6. What are you looking forward to most to seeing on the farm?
I mean, it's not super salacious, but like it's in farming, consistency really is a big deal. So with those additional staff members, we're just trying to look to expand the things that we already do and sort of, do them better. So growing more food and getting more distribution partners. And instead of planting 100 feet of eggplant, planting 200 feet of eggplant. And we are trying to offer more programming. So I think that Rebecca will be doing an additional program in the summer, and we hopefully will be getting a guest speaker in the summer as well.
Love that.
So stay tuned on those things. And yeah, just sort of trying to, we're expanding the field space a little bit. As we try to every year, right? Is our goal to farm all 2 acres, which we're getting there, not quite there. So yeah, just sort of trying to take the feedback that we get from farm share members and distribution partners. We have meetings at the end of every season with the people from Salem Pantry or the people from Haven from Hunger, and sort of taking their feedback and then using that to inform what we do next year. We changed around this year our distribution. We were able to do deliveries, and we were able to sort of tailor the amounts and the timing a little better to work. So, us providing the produce was working a little better for them as far as what their hours were available to their clients. And we added delivery to Beverly Bootstraps, and we added much larger deliveries to Salem Pantry. So we worked a lot more with them, and we're just trying to, expand that into next year, because they're basically, the Salem Pantry said, the only thing that we heard from customers is, can we have more?
Oh, okay.
So they were really nice, yeah.
Okay, so not super salacious, but very important work,
Yeah.
Going onto the farm every single year and seeing the land that we're now occupying is insane to me. Like, my mind is always blown.
Like, that third perch is really far
it's
out
crazy,
there.
girl. It is. It's really crazy. I can't believe we're that far out. I mean, I just remember the culinary herb garden that we kind of started out from and like where this is at now. So it's bananas. And the farm leadership is definitely focused on the right thing, in my opinion, IMO, because it's impactful to the community. Like, doing what you guys are focused on hits our mission, and people are seeing it at their table. As a volunteer, obviously, I'd love to see more pretty, beautiful, other things happening, but we're hitting the mission, right? Like, that's crazy. And people are feeling it at home and in their pockets. So I love that. Love that. So you kind of touched on a few changes that we can anticipate. But are there any other changes that we should be looking out for?
Big changes. I mean, I felt like there were a lot of big changes in 2024. So I'm not trying to, do too much craziness.
Yeah.
I think that in 2024, the herb garden had a huge year. We applied and were approved to be a United Plant Savers Botanical Sanctuary garden. So we're part of the Botanical Sanctuary Network. And we activated the hoop house in 2024. Mm-hmm. So we were able to do a lot of herb drying. So 2025, it's not a huge change, but we're looking to keep, because Rebecca did a lot of work with that structure and with the drying program. And we're trying to sort of finish that structure, try to make it solar, have a little solar power, so we can have more ventilation, more control over the temperatures, so we can do more drying that would extend the season, right? More culinary herbs, so they could potentially go into farm shares. They could be donated. We did have some we donated to our partners, Chickadee Spice Co., and they packaged up a lot of those herbs and distributed them to community fridges. So we are looking to do more of that. Definitely, increase the drying and get more of those fresh herbs out into the world, sort of like making sure that they are right there with the mission, with the the annual produce, make sure that they are also being accessed in an equitable way across the
That
community.
makes sense. It was built, the infrastructure was kind of built and grew in 2024. And now we're just looking to better kind of what was happening in there.
Yeah, I mean,
and
there were a lot of it was kind of like a pilot year for that structure.
Mhm.
We found out what worked. We found out what did not work.
Yeah.
Some of those things, right? It was the priority to get that structure up.
Yep.
We also got electricity for the greenhouse. So this will be the first complete year that we've had that. So it's just sort of figuring out now we can really hit the ground running soon.
Yeah.
Very soon here.
So as far as support for the herb garden project, it sounds like the hoop house is up. We're drying more herbs. We're making more partnerships. What other kind of support could we use that might really impact or help with the infrastructure that we built?
Yeah, I mean, funding is always kind of the
Yep.
number one.
Yeah.
But we have a wish list online if people prefer to donate things instead of just money. But yeah, I mean, if you're interested in herbalism, just coming out to volunteer days and getting out there, and there's always something to learn and there's always something for people to do, I think, just getting involved if you're interested.
Great. Awesome. Okay, so we'll definitely leave the link for the website in the show notes. But if you folks listening would like to see some more growth happening, since our pilot year for the herb garden is now over, we're expanding on infrastructure, could definitely use some support there. So the links will help you find ways to support the herb garden and the projects that are going on. Okay, so one of the things I focus on every season is to see how the farm adapts to challenges. I feel like at this farm, we do a really good job of documenting what were challenges that we had, challenges that we faced, to figure out how do we do better. I feel like every organization wants to do that, but the farm itself, I think that the leadership team does a really good job of assessing that and trying to navigate it for the new year. Obviously, nothing's perfect, and we work hand in hand with Mother Nature, so stuff goes down. But can you share with the listeners any challenges we had in 2024 that we are working on kind of adapting for 2025?
I mean, there's always pests, right? Yeah, there's nothing you can do to control the weather, and sometimes that's okay.
Yeah.
But no, we're just trying to figure out the best way to bridge the gap between, the farm and the community. We want more people involved, and we want people to know what we're doing and feel welcome on the land. So they, people walking through or people walking by can just come on and pop in and see what we're doing. Yeah, definitely challenges. I mean, it's always the peppers, man. I don't know what happened to the peppers. It's these flies.
Yeah.
It is a challenge, honestly, with climate change. You never really know what you're going to get. It's one year it's a monsoon, one year it's a drought. A lot of the solution to that is creating more areas where you can sort of control irrigation, control temperature and ventilation. So that looks like structures. So we don't really have any of those structures out there. So we just do the best we can.
Do the best we can.
Field tomatoes are hard. But you know what? We're going to plant more of them. Because why not? We're going to plant heirlooms. Give it a whirl.
Yeah.
The heirlooms, any kind of heirloom, usually they get sort of diseasey, and they don't really have the longevity that hybrid slicer tomatoes have. But gonna give it a try.
Gotta give it a try.
Yeah.
I like that energy. I also like how you start off by kind of answering the challenge question with the people that we can bring to the farm, because I do think that is part of the solution, right? Finding people who are passionate and want to get
You
involved.
gotta find your people. And especially now, like I think taking action locally feels really good for a lot of people,
Yep.
and there are things you can do that can affect real change in your neighborhood, in your town. So we are happy to work with people and figure that out.
Yay. And on that note, I can't wait to see how this season unfolds. CJ, thank you so much for letting me pick your brain. I'm always excited to do that because, there's so much growth happening at the farm, and you and our leadership team they're doing such a great job of making sure that this continues on, So thank you for sitting with me today. I'm excited to co-host the rest of the season with you. And yeah, appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me today. It's always a pleasure.
And to our listeners, thank you for tuning into this episode of the Cultivator podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you on our next episode. Bye, guys.